Last day we have discussed induction, deduction. This is induction. This triangle is called induction. This triangle is called induction. The father of this concept is called Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon. Last day we observed the presentation, and the opposite triangle is called this is induction. Can be written by some other words, also some other color. Induction. And this is deduction. Deduction. And who is the father of deduction? Father of deduction is that means Aristotle. Last day we discussed this thing. Aristotle. Okay. So this is an inductive process. This is a deductive process. And last day we also discussed the fundamental part of or terms and terminology associated with the syllogism. Already we discussed the premises, middle term, minor term premises, major term premises, and similarly conclusion, independent conclusion, dependent conclusion, similarly mediate conclusion, immediate conclusion, etc. etc. So today we like to classify the premises into a different way. That means that next page we can prepare a chart. Prepare a chart. The chart must be having 5 columns and including heading 5 rows. Including heading 5 rows. Okay. 5 columns. This is heading. And initially we have a classification, and this is what is called example, Venn diagram, distribution, reversion, etc. etc. So indicated by this is what is called type, example, type of syllogism, type. This is example, and this is Venn diagram, how this can be depicted in the form of a Venn. Then this is called a distribution. Distribution is nowadays not important. Distribution. Okay. And this is called reversion. Reversion we discussed in the last class. Reversion. What is reversion? If a premises is given, then the subject is become predicate and predicate is become subject. It is called reversion. Okay. So basically it is classified into 2 categories. The one category is called universal premises. This part is called universal. This is called universal. Universal. This is called universal. Okay. This is particular. This is called particular. This is called particular. Again, this classification, universal classification, can be converted into 2 categories. Okay. This is universal positive. This is universal negative. Universal positive and universal negative. And here also this is classified into 2 categories, like particular positive and particular negative. Okay. Then what are the example for universal positive syllogism? It start with the all. Normally it start with the all CRT. All chairs are table. Universal negative, no chair is table. No chair is table. This is called universal negative. Some chairs are table is called particular negative. Some CR table is called particular negative. Then some CR not T. Some CR not T is called a particular negative. So initially, syllogism can be classified into two categories. It is called universal and the particular. Then again, universal can be classified into two categories: universal positive and universal negative. Again, particular syllogism can be classified into particular positive and particular negative. Total, there are 4 types of statement, or otherwise, last day's knowledge is concerned. It is premises. 4 types of premises: universal positive, universal negative, particular positive, particular negative. Where universal positive, universal negative statements are categorical syllogism. What do you mean by categorical syllogism? Last day we discussed what is categorical syllogism. That means if you have enough confidence to say yes, it is categorical answer. If you have enough confidence to say no, it is categorical answer. That means your yes and no, that means that answer is with a high confidence, 100% confidence, and it is said to be what is called categorical syllogism. Okay, last day we discussed the categorical syllogism, disjunctive syllogism, and again what is called hypothetical syllogism. So examples are there. Now Venn diagram, how it can be depicted? All CRT. So it can be depicted with some separate color. All C may be a small Venn diagram. This is called a C, and this is called T. Sorry, there's T. So this is the equivalent version of all CRT. Remember, all chairs are table can be in different version. Chairs are table or chair is table. That is also equivalent to all chairs are table. Or otherwise, only chair is table. This is another version of universal positive statement. Or sometimes no chair is not table. With using two negative, it becomes high positive. No chair is not table is high positive. So all these are the different version of a universal positive statement. And similarly, no chair is table means you can write like this: separate Venn diagram. This is chair, this is table. Okay, separate Venn diagram. No chair is table. And some chairs at table can be depicted in two ways. Like this is the first way. This is called some chairs at table. C here, T here, and the mingling portion. This portion is called some chairs at table. Again, it can be depicted in second way. Like this is the second way. Table is the inner Venn diagram. Chair is the outer Venn diagram. So some chairs at table means like this. But we consider this is the official Venn diagram, or when we consider this, then for negative we consider this. So for some chairs are not table, we just consider the opposite Venn diagram like this. Some chairs are not table, so table here. The difference between chair and table is called some chairs are not table. Very clear. Some chairs are not table. And this is also another possibility. Some chairs are not table. C here, T here. And this version is called some chairs are not table. Okay. But here we accept this type of Venn diagram. And in negative version, we accept this type of Venn diagram. So some chairs are table, some chairs are not table. And remember, this can be coded. This can be coded like this is A type of premises. Universal statement can be coded as A type of premises, and this can be coded as E type of premises. What is AE? AE means the vowels. AE. So this can be coded as I type of premises. I type of premises. So AEI. Then this can be coded as O type of premises. So A type means universal positive. E type means universal negative. I type means particular positive. O type means particular negative. So similar question you can see if you refer the question paper in June 2010. Which are the following premises can be coded by universal? Which are the following code can be used for universal negative premises, indicating universal negative premises? So there are different versions A, E, I, O. So these are the four options where now you realize that the correct version is O. Sorry, E. Universal negative statement can be depicted by or indicated by a letter like E. Or otherwise, if you go for a bank BO coaching class, you can see that it is termed as SAP, SEP, SIP, SOP. What is SNP? SNP means not standard and poor. It is called subject and predicate. Okay, subject and predicate. So one subject is connected with the A, then it is called SAP. One subject is connected with the E, then it is called SEP. One subject is connected with the predicate like I, so it becomes SIP, then SOP, like that. SAP, SEP, SIP, SOP. If you refer standard textbook like textbook written by R.S. Agarwal, this is the official or authenticated textbook for knowing or learning what is called logical reasoning. If you refer that textbook, I think most of the colleges are having this type of textbook. If you refer that textbook, you can see that a number of formulas are being recorded there, like SAP plus SAP is equal to SAP, SAP plus SIP is equal to SIP, SIP plus SEP is equal to SOP, SIP plus SIP no conclusion, SEP plus SEP no conclusion, like that. So without knowing what is SAP, without knowing what is SEP, suppose you refer R.S. Agarwal textbook, normally you become mad. Okay, so now it's very clear. SAP plus SAP means very clear. It is universal positive statement with the universal positive statement is called a universal positive conclusion. Similarly, SIP plus SAP is equal to SIP, which means SIP is equal to particular positive, SAP is equal to universal positive, then it can provide or issue a particular positive conclusion. Okay, so this is the style of taking conclusion, valid conclusion. Then distribution. What is distribution? So normally you will take the dictionary meaning of distribution. Here it is called one entity is distributed in second entity. Here the inner Venn diagram is called chair. Chair is distributed in table, 100% distribution in table. So it's called, then chair means subject. First word is called subject, second word is called predicate. So here we can say is that S is distributed fully in, S is distributed. You can write S is distributed. So distribution, word distribution can be deleted. Then only thing you can write S. You can write S. S is distributed. Here both the subject and predicate distributed in universe. There is a rectangle here. This rectangle is indicated by a red line. That rectangle is indicated by a universe. So both the subject and predicate distributed in universe. So subject and predicate this way, subject and predicate. Then this is called particular positive. Particular positive means both that means neither subject nor predicate distributed. So some mixture is there, some mingling is there, but is neither 100% nor 0%. So you can say is that neither subject nor predicate distributed. None distribution, none. Okay. And as far as this Venn diagram is concerned, predicate become the inner Venn diagram. So you can say is that P is distributed 100%. P distributed. So first premises, subject become distributed. Second premises, both subject and predicate distributed. Third premises, neither subject nor predicate distributed. Neither of them distributed. Fourth one, predicate distributed. So these are the distribution theory. So remember, whenever a Venn diagram is 100% inside of another Venn diagram, then we can say is that the inner Venn diagram is distributed in outer Venn diagram. This is the distribution technique. Then reversal means just reverse the statement. Reverse the statement means subject become predicate and predicate become subject. So how to reverse it? All chairs are table. By looking the Venn diagram, can you reverse it? No, because chair is the smaller Venn diagram and the table is the bigger Venn diagram. So we cannot say that all tables are chairs, but we can say that some tables are chairs. Okay. So this is called immediate conclusion. So if you reverse it, SAP type statement can be reversed as SIP. Okay. All chairs are table can be reversed as some tables are chairs. So SAP type statement can be reversed as SIP. Then no chair is table. So referring this Venn diagram, it can be reversed in same version. No table is chair. So SEP can be reversed as SEP. SEP can be reversed as SEP. Then SIP can be reversed as SIP, no problem. Some chairs are tables, some tables are furniture, some tables are chairs, no problem. And as far as particular negative is concerned, it's very difficult. So remember, there is a classification, mathematical classification. This is 100% true statement. A universal positive statement is 100% true. A teacher or an academician or a researcher or scientist, they are supposed to say only supposed to make only universal positive statement. That means universal positive statement is in unambiguous form. That means there is no ambiguity. That means it is 100% clarity. 100% clarity. For example, Rama is going to marry Sita. That means there is no doubt. Okay, no doubt. That means the statement is 100% clear. Where negative statement, if you are using negative statement, it is not having 100% clarity. It is having 75% clarity. Rama is not going to marry Sita means there are number of assumption you can take. Okay, so it's 75%. That means never use negative statement for clarity. Negative statement is not making any clarity. Okay, then the next thing is having only 50% clarity. 50% clarity, and the last thing is having 24% clarity. So ambiguity is more in last statement, particular negative statement. If you refer the previous question paper, particular negative statements are very rare, because all people know that even by using your common logic, all people know that by using particular negative question, particular negative premises, you cannot make any conclusions. So anyway, this is what is called the fundamental of syllogism. I hope that this is unofficial, so you can delete it. Syllogism cannot be explained like this. This is only meant for knowing matter very friendly. Okay, so I delete it. Okay, now so you can see the table in very beautiful way. This is the version. Okay, type universal for particular, universal positive, universal negative, particular positive, particular negative. Example, what are the different type of example? Then Venn diagram, distribution, reversal, etc. we have discussed. Okay, now it's very clear. Any confusion with respect to the classification? Any confusion? I think some logout problem, some network problem, network issue. Sharon? Okay, can you see me? Hello, Sharin.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. Now it's fine. Okay. Now I'm going to present the board once again. Now see this table. The table has been completed at 100% level. So this is the equation for preparing the table. You are not supposed to by heart this table, but knowing this table is very important. Okay, knowing this table is very important because without knowing this table, suppose you take deduction or suppose you take conclusion, that conclusion would be in very difficult mode. Okay, or sometimes a wrong conclusion. So anyway, next we are going to write the rule for deriving conclusion. Number one, first rule. I think this board will be saved in PDF format and will be shared in your WhatsApp group. Okay, along with the PPT, last day's PPT, and this is also, the PPT also is beneficial to you. So first rule means middle term should not be in conclusion. So I can write middle term empty. Middle term should not be in conclusion. Middle term should not be in conclusion. Should not be in conclusion. Middle term should not be in conclusion. Okay. That means, for example, all yes are T. Now second, this is called P1. Here and after P1, P2 means very simple, premises number 1 and premises number 2. P2, what is P2? All T are something like G. All T are G. So you can take a valid conclusion. This is called the conclusion number 1. Valid conclusion as all S are G. All S are G. So what is the Venn diagram picture representation? Picture representation is something like that. All S are T, like this. All T are G. So you can easily take a conclusion that all S are G. All S are G. Easily take a conclusion that all S are G. This is very easy. You cannot reverse it. All G's are S. All G's are S means it's something like suppose the second conclusion is like that. All G's are yes. This is very difficult. Clear? All G's are S means it's very difficult because by seeing the Venn diagram, G is the biggest Venn diagram and S is the smallest Venn diagram. So you cannot say that all G's are S, but you can reverse it like some G's are S. Some G means this portion of S, some G are S. So you can reverse it as some G's are S. Okay, so here as far as this conclusion is concerned, this is the correct answer. First one is the correct answer, second is not the correct answer. So here the middle term is T, so T is not in conclusion. Okay, and S means the smallest Venn diagram, already distributed, and G is the topmost Venn diagram or biggest Venn diagram. Okay, so S is distributed in G, so all S are G, it is correct. But all G's are S means wrong. This is wrong because seeing the Venn diagram, G is the biggest Venn diagram and S is the smallest Venn diagram, like that. So remember, this topic is not only meant for UGC. You can take this topic for some other competitive examination like combined graduate level examination, bank PO examination, etc. etc. As far as UGC is concerned, they are asking only a single syllogism. Single syllogism. Only and only single syllogism. Okay, so but if you go for bank PO, bank probationary officer examination, or something like a CSAT, civil service aptitude test, civil service aptitude test is concerned, all these examinations are concerned, the syllogism or statement argument or statement conclusion or statement course of action or assertion reason, etc., etc., being asked like 5 questions. That means the bunch of 5 questions, a group of 5 questions. So, which means if you skip this area, it's very difficult to clear the examination. Okay. Sometimes you may feel some sort of uneasiness when you learn the fundamental of syllogism. But whenever you know this matter, it becomes something like an addiction. It creates some sort of addiction in solving syllogism. Okay. So if you take a 10 years question paper of UGC, you can see that a good number of syllogisms are there. You can solve it. So we will solve it tomorrow. So tomorrow we will solve it. So tomorrow also 4 to 5 my class. Again we will discuss the same topic like syllogism. Then on Saturday we will discuss what is called assertion reason. This is very important for paper 2 also. Your logic will be measured by using or by asking what is called assertion and reason. Okay. So this is the first rule. Please write the first rule. Middle term should not be in conclusion. Then what is the second rule? Rule number 2. Rule number 2, middle term should be distributed once. Distribution is the connection process. Should be distributed once. Middle term should be distributed. This is D. Distributed once. Or otherwise very difficult to take conclusion. For example, please write the example. You can write all SRT, then again next all GRT. Okay. Earlier T is the middle term which is arrived as predicate in first premises, arrived as subject in earlier question. But here predicate in second premises also, which means in both premises middle term is arrived as predicate, which means the middle term is not distributed. So middle term should be distributed once. Means there is no middle term distribution. So you cannot take a conclusion like all SRG like that. So if middle term is not properly distributed, you can prepare the Venn diagram in 2 ways. That means middle term distribution creates some sort of ambiguity, some sort of what is called doubts. So you can prepare Venn diagram in 2 ways. First way, that means there are 2 ways for preparing Venn diagram. First way is like that: all SRT and all GRT. There is no connection between S and G. Second way is like this. Second way means all SRT and all GRT. Okay. So what is the difference? So if you refer, sometimes the conclusions are given like C1 and C2 are given like some SRG, first conclusion, and no S is G, second conclusion. No S is G. Okay, some SRG means not correct here, but correct. There is a mingling portion. Some SRG means correct. So C1 is correct in second possibility. Then what about C2? C2 no SSG, which is correct here, but not correct here. So this is what is called either one or two. Either A or B. Either A or B means it's called a disjunctive syllogism. If A become true, B become wrong. If B become true, A become wrong. So it's mutually exclusive. Very clear, mutually exclusive. So this is what is called middle term distribution. Very important thing, middle term distribution. Okay, so this is the second rule. Then the third rule. We will discuss the third rule. The term which is distributed should be distributed in conclusion, which is distributed should be distributed in premises. Term which is distributed in conclusion should be distributed in premises. Should be distributed in premises. Should be distributed in premises. Distributed in premises. Distributed in premises. PREM, premises. Okay, the term which is distributed in conclusion should be distributed in premises. Now see, please listen. For example, earlier, initially we discussed what is called all SRT and all TRG, like that. All TRG. So first conclusion says all GRS. Okay, is it possible? If you prepare the Venn diagram like this, first Venn diagram S, second Venn diagram T, third Venn diagram is G. Okay, this is third Venn diagram. So all SRG correct. This way is correct, but all GRS means not correct, because G is the biggest Venn diagram, S is the smallest Venn diagram. By looking the picture is not possible. Similarly, the word G is distributed in conclusion but not distributed in premises. So third rule is very important. The term which is distributed in conclusion should be distributed in premises. This is the third rule. And the fourth rule says like no conclusion follows. No conclusion if number one, both premises are particular. That's why in R.S. Agarwal textbook, SIP plus SIP, no conclusion. No, both premises are particular. What is SIP? SIP means particular positive statement. Some SRP, some PRG. So you cannot take any valid conclusion. Okay. Second thing is that both premises are negative. That means SEP plus SEP, no conclusion. 75% correct statement with a 75% correct statement. Can you take a 100% valid conclusion? Not possible. So no need of making particular negative, because it's not only particular but also negative. So if there are two particular negative statement, you cannot make any valid conclusion. Okay. So this is fourth rule. Then fifth rule, if one premises is particular, conclusion would be particular. If one premises is particular, conclusion would be particular. Okay. So for example, SIP plus SAP, one premises is particular and the second premises is universal. So this can give you your conclusion like SIP. SIP plus SAP is equal to SIP. Then again, sixth rule number six. If one premises is negative, If one premises is negative, the conclusion would be negative. One premises is negative, comma, the conclusion is negative. Conclusion is negative. So you can say is that SAP plus SEP is equal to SEP. SAP plus SEP is equal to SEP. SAP means universal positive statement. SEP means universal negative statement. So SAP plus SEP is equal to SEP. Okay. So this is the sixth rule. Seventh rule, if both premises are particular, sorry, if both premises are universal, the conclusion would be universal. Conclusion would be universal. Or otherwise we can say that, or earlier we discussed SAP plus SAP is equal to SAP. That means both the premises are universal and the conclusion is also universal. SAP plus SAP is equal to SAP. You can write SAP plus SAP is equal to SAP. And again, one more rule, eighth rule is that if one premises is if major term premises is particular, what is major term premises? Last day we discussed major term premises is particular, major term premises is particular, and the minor term premises is negative, and minor term premises is negative. Minor term premises is negative. The conclusion would be particular negative. Conclusion would be particular negative. I hope that the meaning is clear. Major term premises is SIP, and particular next is SEP, universal negative. SIP plus SEP is equal to SOP, particular negative. So this is the equation. So I hope that some of the rules we have already completed. We will discuss the